Well, as Lori was talking to the children, she asked them what they were thankful for. The first thing that one of them said was family. And when I think about the things that I'm thankful for, I think that's usually the first thing that comes to my mind, that I am thankful that I had parents who cared for me, who provided for my needs and many of my wants, who were always there for me, supporting me in every way, growing up and as an adult. I am thankful for my family. Unfortunately, there are some children, and it seems more and more, who don't have the blessing of a stable family. And God calls his people to care for widows and orphans. Throughout the Bible, we can read that God has a special place in his heart for widows and orphans. And so Michael Noodleman, who works with for Texas Boys Ranch, came a week or two ago and a couple weeks ago and talked to me about the ministry of Texas Boys Ranch, and he asked if he might come and share with the congregation. And I said, I think God is calling me to allow that to happen. I felt that God had said to me, this is someone you need to hear from. And so I have invited Michael to come today and to talk to us about the ministry of Texas Boys Ranch. And we're going to begin with a video that tells a little bit about that.
Texas Boys Ranch has been serving children for 40 years. 40 years of care started with a dream of helping, a dream of serving, a dream of making a difference. And when people dream, big things happen.
3 times I had to say, God bless Manny.
I never had really thought about it when Bishop, he said, well, the first time was for the Father, the second time was for the Son, and the third time was for the Holy Spirit. So he had to have his name called 3 times because that evoked the fullness of God's power.
4 cottages house 32 boys and girls. Our children's shelter provides a safe haven for 16 boys and girls. We serve as a foster care and adoption agency. Through the years, Texas Boys Ranch has helped over 1,100 children from more than 100 communities. All because a few people, just like you, dared to dream.
Texas Boys Ranch has grown a great deal since 1975 when it first opened its doors and started serving its very first child.
The children at Texas Boys Ranch ask you to take part in 40 days of prayer. When people pray, great things happen. Elijah prayed and drought ended. Daniel prayed and protection came. Jesus prayed and the power of God prevailed. Pray each day for a specific need for 40 days in a row, starting today.
One night I had made a Mexican food casserole, and he took a bite of it and jumped up and ran over to me and hugged me and said, "This is just like my mom used to make, Miss Brenda."
After praying, you may feel led to do more, individually, within your family, or as a church. You can give our boys and girls what they need. We call this 40 Ways to Share. When people act, mighty things happen.
We need the financial support to make the difference for these children.
You know, they're just so grateful to have the food that they have, and because they have gone hungry, and so they are very appreciative.
You are the answer to a child's prayer. Here is what you can do to help. Participate in Coins for Cowboy. Conduct a drive for our commissary. Donate clothing. Consider us in your will. Take part in our Give Me 5 campaign. Become a foster parent. Adopt a child. Help with homework. Feed a child for a day, a week, or more.
The needs of our children is greater than it's ever been before, and you are going to be the reason why we're going to be able to make that happen.
Help us fulfill our mission of sharing Jesus, healing hearts, and transforming lives. A dream of hope resulted in 40 years of care. Faith leads to 40 days of prayer. Love moves to 40 ways to share. And now these three remain: faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love.
No? Am I on now? I realized I was on while y'all were singing. I'm really sorry. That was horrible. Seriously, when I'm at church, I hum a lot. So, my name's Michael Noodleman. Mindy, thank you. I really appreciate y'all letting me come here today. I'm from Texas Boys Ranch in Lubbock. How many of y'all know where we're located at? Okay. We are 3 miles east of the airport. We're on 460 acres. A lot of people ask, what kind of ranch are we? I consider it's more of a horse ranch. We have 32 horses. The hay and the other things that we grow are for the horses to eat. Our average age is 8 years old. At Texas Boys Ranch, we are licensed for boys and girls. We also have a shelter, and we're licensed for boys and girls there as well. But the difference is our license at the ranch is for 4 years old all the way up to 18. In our shelter, we take as from infant to 18 years old. Our shelter is off of 14th and T, off of Broadway in Lubbock. It used to be called the South Plains Shelter. We took it over about 2 years ago. We did some remodeling, and we are running it 24 hours. It's always awake staff in that shelter. It's very temporary. Kids stay there no more than 30 days. We try to find a permanent solution for them to be within 30 days, if not shorter. We also, like the video said, we're a licensed foster care and adoption agency, and I really want to say we have a big praise. Texas Boys Ranch had 11 boys and girls adopted on Friday, and that is a huge, huge deal. Considering this is our first year as an adoption agency, 11 is just amazing. But there's a problem. Those foster parents that adopted the children have to roll off for a certain amount of time while they have a settling period with the new child, knowing that that child's going to be there permanently. So we are actually losing that many foster parents. So if you know anybody that would like to be a foster parent through us, this is within our range. This is not too far. Texas Boys Ranch used to be, when it opened up in 1975. I'm sorry, can I ask you something? How old are you? You're 21. You are older than I thought. Dang it. It's all right. So, it used to be a place where mom and dad would take kids and go, here, fix them. Wear them out. You know, they have the cowboy hat and the duster, throwing hay up on the trailer. That's not the way it is anymore at Texas Boys Ranch. We're a place where children that have been neglected and abused are placed for us to care for. CPS comes in, there's an investigation, child gets pulled, we are one of the options in the area. I'll be honest with you, the abuse of children in West Texas is not getting any better. And if you think that we serve children just inside Luke 289, that's false. We recently have had a child from Muleshoe in our shelter. We have children from Littlefield. We've taken children in from New Mexico and Oklahoma, even from my hometown of Houston. But we can't do this alone. We need y'all. Texas Boys Ranch needs y'all in many different ways. Number one, we need you weekly, daily, to pray for us. Pray for not just our children. Yes, pray for them, but pray for our administration. Pray for our house parent. My wife and I, we were house parents for 7 years at a different children's home. We raised 8 teenage girls. Yes, you may feel sorry for me. It was me, my wife, my daughter, 8 teenage girls. The dog was fixed. He didn't even count. So. It's tough being a house parent. Yes, it's lots of kids, but a lot of things that you don't think of is you have to work with your spouse. Your spouse is your coworker. Y'all have to learn how to work together to raise these 8 kids from 8 different backgrounds that have been neglected and abused in 8 different ways. If you ever meet a house parent, give them a hug. They need it. Our president was on that video, and he's a wonderful man. I love working for him. He's our president, and you do what he says. He was in the Air Force for 22 years, but you never would realize he was. He's a very caring, godly man. He's a licensed counselor. He's been doing this now for right at 20 years. He has been working with neglected and abused children. I love working for him. He's great. The kids that we take in have been through things that, well, I really don't even want to mention. But when they are brought in, you can literally see our motto working. Sharing Jesus, healing hearts, transforming lives. When you start sharing Jesus, and not just with the Bible. Yes, we take the kids to church. We share the Bible with them. But there's other ways of sharing Jesus. By leading by example. Hey, when I tuck you into bed, I'm not going to abuse you. I'm going to wake you up for school because, yes, education is important. So when you start sharing Jesus, you start healing the hearts. And that's when lives are transformed. But we can't do it alone. We need y'all. We need churches all over to jump on board and partner with Texas Boys Ranch. We're doing good work out there, but we've grown. And so as we grow, we need more. We need our support to grow as well. My wife thinks I'm a mind reader. I'm really not. And even though she would love for me to be one, I'm not. So are there any questions? I told Mindy I was going to do this, and she said this was okay. Are there any questions that maybe I have not answered? And please don't be bashful. I'm not. Oh, come on. Are you referring to... Go ahead. Complete the thought. I'm sorry. That's not us. That is the most common question we have. They do good work up there up in Amarillo, but we are not associated with any other ranch or children's home in the state of Texas or anywhere. We are our own separate entity. So I went and spoke at a little church outside of Lubbock, actually the Buffalo Springs Community Church. I spoke there, and then I came back. I like to go back to churches and give updates about what's going on. I went there and I said, I finished my speech, and little old woman comes up to me and she goes, I've been sending my checks up to Amarillo. I've never made an 85-year-old woman cry before, and I really never want to do it again. It hurt. I told her thank you, and that you help kids up there. And apparently she called up there and said, I want my money back. I told her, no, don't do that, but she did that. I didn't know. But anyway. But yes, that's the most common question I get. We are not associated with any other ranch or any other children's home. So thank you for the question. I appreciate it. Roosevelt Schools. Bus comes in, picks them up, takes them to school. When the children get off the bus, they don't go to the cottages. They actually go into our new ed rec facility where homework is done. Our kids, on average, come to the ranch 2 years behind educationally. Because when you're neglected and abused, education is not a priority. School doesn't matter. So, survival, that's what matters. But thank you for the question. Well, there's an email that goes out, I believe, daily from Child Protective Services. And there's about 300 kids daily on a list. We are licensed to serve certain kids. We can't take in, they're severely abused. They have to go almost to a hospital. So our team, caseworkers, our president, and our program directors get together and very quickly decide if this child is right for the ranch. Because when you bring a new kid into the home, how's that kid going? Is the child going to fit in? Is it going to disturb the home? Because you got to think of the kids that are already there. So it's not as easy as you think. It's not like, hey, here's a kid. There you go. We have to really, can we serve that child? It's a tough decision. We hate saying, no, we can't. But we have to look at each child individually and decide what's best for the child. So, did that answer your question? Okay, thank you. Yes?
How do you use the horses? Do they ride?
Yes. We are a licensed equine therapy ranch. Our counselors are awesome. They could counsel anywhere. They could, be a regular counselor in an office. But they went and got a special training to be an equine therapy counselor. So, yes, our kids just can go, they will have free time to ride. But a lot of times they do counseling on the horses and they don't even know it. So we just opened up our new horse barn. So everyone got that handout? You have my card. If y'all are ever in Lubbock shopping or whatever, I know it's coming up, give me a call. If you give me a little heads up notice, I'd love to show y'all the ranch. We love showing people what we're doing. Thank you for the question.
What happens to those children who are not exempt?
I don't know. That's not true. We help find the appropriate place for those children. So. Yes, we have our rancher, Mr. Brady. He's been there for a long time. We mainly grow wheat and hay for the horses. That's what we grow. Come on. Y'all are really easy. I like this. There's many ways churches can help. Number one, I would love for y'all to pray for us weekly. Every time y'all meet, please pray for us. And like I said, the kids, the administration, we're doing good work. We just opened up a new commissary, and that's kind of like a little grocery store where there's clothing and it's where everything, a central location for everything. And we have a person that runs it. She's wonderful. Lacey is amazing. We would love for y'all to conduct a drive. Hey, if I call Mindy and say, hey, we need dishwashing detergent or laundry detergent, anything that you'd be used in your own home. Well, you take that one item, and the challenge is every time you meet, come in through the door, have that item. And so anything that y'all use, we use, just on a larger scale. We go through, football season started and the laundry detergent went quick. It went real quick. So there's also our Gimme 5. Every time there's a fifth Sunday, which I was about to show a video about that. Every time there's a fifth Sunday, we ask churches to do an extra $5 or more donation toward the Boys Ranch. This November is a fifth Sunday, and then the next one is in January. We started that little campaign, started off with 3 churches beginning of the year. It's grown to right at about 30. So people like that. So if you have gently used kids' clothes, we'll always take those. We take baby clothes. We have babies in our shelter. Now our babies typically end up in our foster care and adoption program. So, yes.
Why did y'all decide you needed another facility like this?
Because, well, back in 75, there was a need. And there's only so much room at those other places. So we're full right now. So there is a need for children to be placed. So does that answer your question? Okay. Yes.
Where do you take the kids to church? Y'all have your own chapel?
We do have our own chapel, yes, but it is meant for devotional time on Wednesdays and Saturdays. Each house parent gets to choose where the kids go to church. So up to the president's discretion. So he likes to really run our president wants to run the boys' ranch as close to as a home as possible. So he really doesn't like to dictate where people go to church. He wants the house parents to feel comfortable going to their churches. Yes. A lot of times our kids will go to the Idalou Clinic. That's where we have a good relationship with them, but we take our kids to doctor's appointments just like any other parent would, whether it be dentist or the doctor's office or things like that. So, is there any other? We do not kick them out. They can stay until they're 22. Our president stopped that a long time ago. He noticed a pattern at other facilities that you turned 18, time to kick you out. We don't do that. As long as the kid is following the rules, either going to college or a technical school, which we put one young man just recently through welding school at South Plains College. We paid for it. He graduated. He now owns his own fabrication shop, making more money than I'll ever see in my lifetime. Trust me. He is doing great. Yes, sir.
Do any of the children go back to the parents?
Well, that's the goal. We always want that because that means things have been fixed. From the time a child is taken, on average, it's a year. And the judge orders the parents to go through counseling, go to classes, and all you got a lot of hoops to jump through in order to get your kids back. Some of them do, some of them don't. And after a year, that's when the judge will either determine, hey, this kid's going to go back home because his parents turned their life around, they've gotten a job, things are looking good, or we got to terminate rights. And then that's when adoption happens. So, thanks for the question. Right. They can work, and that's a kind of a common question. Do the kids have to work on the ranch? Do we force child labor? No, we don't do that. But they have the option to at a certain age. About 14 years old, they can start working for the ranch, and we pay them. And so they earn little extras, and they get a lot of stuff too. Luckily, I would have to say our average age is 8, so we don't have to deal with cell phones too much. But yes, we have had some older kids that have had cell phones, and they have to help pay for them. So, and just like driver's license, hey, I had to pay for my own driver's license. They do too. So we're trying to teach the kids responsibility. Not everything's given to you. So, thank you. We have had some special needs kids in the past, and we have an education liaison that stays at the school during school hours, and they will help them throughout the day. And then during the summertime, a lot of people ask, what do we do during the summer? It's all for a couple hours every day. They're almost they don't know it really. They're having fun with it. We make it fun for them, but they're kind of doing schoolwork to help catch them up. So, yes, we have had some special needs kids, and the ones that we can take in, we really focus on their needs, and we do everything we can to help. Anything else? I'd like to show one more video, if that's okay, and then I got a story to finish everything up.
Give me 5. A phrase of joint celebration shared accomplishment, a job well done. Texas Boys Ranch has reason to celebrate. We have been serving children in need for 40 years. My, how things have changed in 4 decades. And yet, the needs have stayed the same. Boys and girls still hurt. Neglect and abuse run rampant. Children still need our help. Your help.
You're familiar with the story of David. He faced a giant. Goliath was loud and tall and mean. No one thought he could be defeated. No one, that is, except David. On his way to face the enemy, he prayerfully picked up 5 smooth stones. You know the rest of the story. Victory. When you give 5, it's like giving children, boys like Jimmy, girls like Julie, 5 stones in their hands to defeat the enemies standing in their way. Poverty, hunger, illiteracy, desperation, aloneness. When you give 5, you give hope. When you give 5, you show love. When you give 5, you offer life to children who otherwise might not have that. Thank you. Thank you for your gift of 5. Thank you for your gift of love. Thank you for your gift of hope. Because of you, our boys and girls are given what they need.
Here's a simple way you can participate in sharing Jesus, healing hearts, and transforming lives. We call it Give Me 5. On those months that have 5 Sundays, bring an extra $5 or more above and beyond your regular contribution for a special offering to help feed the 50-plus children in our care. $5. It may not seem like much, but your gift of $5 makes a big difference. $5 given in faith to help children in need is reason to celebrate. Give me 5.
About a year ago, a little over a year ago, I went up to the ranch on a Saturday, and I'd forgot something in the office. And I saw that our horse therapy was going on. And I wanted to go check it out. And they were, it was just one boy. His name was Joe. And there were 2 counselors there, and our rancher, Brady. Brady was doing something else. In our horse arena, our horse barn, there was an arena about the size of this area in here. And I kind of stood in the back, but I could hear everything that was going on. The counselors released 3 horses into the arena. And they said, Joe, which horse are you? I thought he was just going to go, hey, that's me. I was wrong. He actually watched the horses for over 30 minutes. After about 30 minutes, Joe said, I'm that one. That's me. I'm the bully. I'm the one that's been picking on the other 2 horses. See, Joe had a hard time in school, and at church, and at the ranch. He was angry. I'd be angry too. After Joe was able to admit that he was having a hard time being taken from his parents, things started getting a little better. It was like a snowball. He started actually participating in church instead of sitting in the back folding his arms. Grades went up. behavior in the cottage. Instead of picking on the little boys in the cottage and getting in trouble, he started being the example. A month ago, Joe was adopted. He was adopted by a family that could not have children. Not only is Joe adopted, but Joe is 13 years old. Do you know how hard it is to find a family for a 13-year-old boy? I saw him recently at a football game. He's doing really good. That's what we're doing at Boys Ranch. We're full right now. We've got 33 boys and girls at our ranch. Or right now we have 14 in our shelter. And we just rolled off, for a good reason, 11 foster families. So we need more foster families. Come see us. Keep us in your prayers. Thank you.